Check, 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 check. What's going on? All right. Hail. Did they upgrade our tour? No. What's going on, Ava? Anderson, South Carolina for next week? For next week? Well, that's quite a ways away. Here, let's look. It's not going to be perfect, but... I don't know where that is in South Carolina, but I can give you the forecast for South Carolina next week. Or at least what the Euro is saying. Nice little high pressure sitting over the southeastern coast. Weather looks to be pretty clear out there. If that high pressure is stationed over the southeast, like it looks to be. No, that's got to be a bug. The way that high doesn't move. It just sits right there. Like, there's no way. It does look pretty clear, though. For the most part next week. Maybe a little bit of action Thursday, Friday. I mean, you look at our total quantitative precipitation. Not much expected out there. I mean, a little bit, maybe an inch through next week, an inch and a half, but there's not much rainfall expected. Temperatures are going to be hot. Temperature anomalies. Look at this out east. Sweltering hot for a while out there. I mean, you can see it when you go into our climate prediction center. Temperature outlook 6 to 10 days and 8 to 14 days. Is Ohio safe? Yeah, Ohio looks pretty good today. Ohio looks pretty safe today. Southeastern, I'd pay attention, but other than that, you guys looking pretty good today. Here's our categorical. This week? Well, South Carolina could have some, you know, that has the potential for strong to damaging or strong to severe thunderstorms today. Just general thunderstorms tomorrow, and then getting into Saturday general thunderstorms again. So nothing too bad, but it's going to be a little bit rainy probably. Christian, what's going on? Fourth of July, it's too hard to tell. That's way too far out. The models aren't going to be accurate with that, unfortunately. If someone tells you they know what the weather's going to be like on 4th of July, they're probably lying. It's really tough for models to be accurate that far out. Probably need at least another 5 to 6 days to even start to kind of get our thoughts together for the 4th of July weather. But today we do have a large, slight, and a smaller enhanced. Now this enhanced region does include Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, New York City. Then up through portions of the Hudson Valley. We've got Allentown, Lancaster, Reading, Georgetown, Bethany Beach, Salisbury. Yeah, this is a wind-driven risk. We could see, if we go to the wind here, we could see 70 to 80 plus mile per hour gusts associated with some of these severe thunderstorms today. I will say the latest HRRR isn't doing much for me. It's not showing much, but the Rufus does put some pretty decent supercells in and around the DC metro area. So Central Maryland. We'll take a look at the latest HRRR in a little bit, but yeah, it's not looking too impressive for today, which is kind of good. But again, models don't fully agree on what's going to be happening. So how bad is the storm supposed to be in Virginia? Yeah, I mean, you can see Virginia. We've got this 3 out of 5 risk for strong winds and to damaging winds. And then you've got that 2 out of 5. That's slight for pretty much the entire state except for far southwestern. We've also got a little bit of a risk up here through portions of the central to northern plains and upper Midwest. Now, this would likely be a super late evening event, maybe 11 p.m. Central through like 4 a.m. Our storms out here on the East Coast, this is going to be more of a late afternoon, early to mid-evening event. So I think 5 to 6 p.m. we could have some strong thunderstorms rolling in here towards the coast. We can take a look at that right now if we go to our latest model run here on Radar Omega. Let's go into the latest HRRR. What do we have here? 14Z. Here we go. Storms start to push off east. West Virginia gets involved. Pittsburgh gets involved. Buffalo, Syracuse get involved a little bit earlier in the day. 4 or 5 p.m. And then as we get into 6, 7, as I said, these storms start to move off to the coast. Here's at around 7. Right now, the latest HRRR thinks right around 7 p.m. we could have maybe 6 to 7 p.m. we could have strong thunderstorms moving through Richmond, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City. This looks a little bit more enhanced from our previous runs, so maybe this is a tiny bit of an uptrend that we're seeing now. We got another band of storms moving out east towards Albany and Vermont up there. And then you can see down here in Virginia these storms, and then you can see Greensboro, Charlotte get involved around 5-6-2, and then 7-8 we're moving out towards Virginia Beach, Greenville, Fayetteville, and Wilmington down here in North Carolina. So that's the latest there. Now I do quickly want to just, and I'm going to answer questions, but I do quickly want to look at Pivotal because yeah, I do quickly want to look at Pivotal because I want to see how this looks on the reflectivity a little bit better with any sort of like supercell development. Let's see here. Here we go. This is kind of important. This would be an important update. I don't know why this thing keeps dragging this thing in here. Let's get this off. Here we go. So latest 14Z, still not seeing much. I mean, potentially strong to severe thunderstorms moving into, like I said, DC, Baltimore as early as 5, 6 p.m. Philly, same thing. 5, 6, 7. It's going to be an early evening event. It depends if we do have, some of these thunderstorms developing ahead of the main line here. So you can see this line starts to consolidate into more of a QLCS straight line system as we get off the coast, but it's kind of broken up as it moves in. New York City looks to, at least on the latest HRRR, get involved at right around 6 p.m. as well. Yeah, I'd say Philly 6 as well. Not seeing really any supercell development on the latest HRRR again, which is interesting. If we go, the 12Z Rufus is loading, but that one's not going to do us much favors. But you go to the 9Z Rufus, you've got supercells moving right through Philly, DC, and Baltimore down here. You've got some central North Carolina as well. I think moving to Greensboro out east. Am I crazy? Yeah, Greensboro out east. I have to double check that. So again, the Rufus model looks a little more aggressive. It also puts some strong thunderstorms later in the evening out through Virginia Beach. Not looking that impressive. Honestly, not looking that impressive, which is good, but things can change quickly as the day moves on. The NAM 3K also puts some decent looking supercells through the DC, Baltimore, Philly region. A couple up there in the Hudson Valley. And then we've got a couple down there central to southern Virginia. And then down near Charlotte and out east and central to eastern North Carolina. So they do see the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms up and down this line. It's just not looking as intense as it was at certain points. Even if we go towards let's go to our surface-based cape. This is our instability updraft potential. Not crazy. Decent up here, Hudson Valley down through Baltimore and DC and Philly. Not bad. Again, nothing too impressive. I think the HRRR cape looks even less intense. I mean, there's just not much going on here. So very interesting. We've seen our SIGTOR potential out here in the mid-Atlantic kind of fade a little bit. You see a little bit of SIGTOR trying to get going here earlier in the day around 5 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. Not the craziest looking hodograph I've ever seen, or not the craziest looking sounding I've ever seen. Although we do have some decent SIGTOR if we can get storms to fire up out here in eastern North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina. This would be in and around 10 p.m. tonight. Marginal tour. So maybe northeastern North Carolina. We'll see if they, if we do get any sort of change on the tour risk, maybe they upgrade down here a little bit. But again, I'm just not seeing anything too intense. Really quickly to talk about what's going on up there in the upper, and I'll get to your questions. Northern Plains, upper Midwest. You do get a little bit of a spark of SIGTOR, as you can see as we get into pretty late up here. Talking around 10 Central, 11 Central. They've got marginal tour up here. Pretty good cape, but there's going to be some inhibition. There's going to be some capping issues up here for sure. And if we go to our reflectivity, you can see where this line of kind of supercells wants to develop right through here. Now, if this does develop like this would be a pretty impressive setup. We could get some large hail, strong winds, and maybe even a few tornadoes up here late tonight. Again, we're talking like maybe not even till 1, 2 in the morning for this type of setup. So this is going to be very late tonight, very early in the morning tomorrow for the Northern Plains, upper Midwest region. Anyways, last thing I want to say before I get to questions, we did just have a Category 4 major hurricane make landfall right down here to our south. It is weakening quickly now, but it did make landfall with around 145 mile per hour winds as a Category 4 major hurricane with a central pressure at or around 939 millibars. So not bad. You can see it on the satellite right here. Still spinning away. We can go to our long wave infrared. There you go. Let me get you guys there. Sorry, you can't see that. There you go. Here it is. There it is down there. Made landfall as a Cat 4 major hurricane just to the south down here in Mexico. So pretty impressive storm. We're expecting potentially more development right here. Another hurricane. I mean, the Eastern Pacific has been popping off to start this season. Still not seeing much in terms of development out here in the Caribbean. I mean, you can look at what's going on out here. Pretty quiet. Some disturbances down here, but overall pretty quiet. The GFS does see in a week and a half a hurricane making landfall in like Houston or New Orleans. Too far out to take seriously. We got to wait a little longer. You know, it's going to change a million times. So, but I will say that it's seeing a little bit of chance for development. So is the Euro. Again, not within the time frame that where we should be concerned. It's within the time frame that it can drastically change, and we could end up seeing nothing. So just something to keep our eye on moving forward. All right, what's going on, everyone? Let me change this back here. This is going to be a quick stream, maybe another 20-30 minutes, and I'm going to get on later to cover some of the severe weather out where I am today. So let's get back to this. We do have some bad weather down here, by the way. Yeah, Cat 4 already making landfall. I know. Do you think this hurricane season is... I think, well, everything is pretty much in place for this to be an above average hurricane season. So it could be a below average hurricane season, but I think that wouldn't be because of the setup we have. That would be because we get lucky. Enzo neutral. Bermuda high close to our coast. The Gulf is the second warmest it's been in history. I think it's actually the warmest it's been in history right now. It actually just passed last year. Above average monsoon season off the coast of Africa. All these things point towards an aggressive hurricane season. Waters are a little bit cool in the Southern Caribbean and out in the tropical Atlantic, which is good. So there's some stuff in our favor, but overall you would assume it'd be an above average hurricane season. But weirder things have happened where sometimes we were supposed to get monstrous snow in the Pacific Northwest this winter and in the Great Lakes region, and most people, Buffalo got good snow, but most people in those regions got nothing. So the atmosphere doesn't always do what it's supposed to do historically. in these types of Enzo setups and stuff like that. How much you think Dacula, Georgia will get today? What do you mean? Rainfall? What are we talking about? Let's see here. Let's go to our outlook. Precipitation. Here's our precip for today. Our precip for tomorrow. Our day 3 precip. So Georgia's not expected to get a ton of rainfall today. Quarter inch, maybe. Is tornado season done? No. Tornado season really starts to wind down as we get into the beginning of July. June, you can still see some tornado outbreaks. I'd say we're pretty close. 2-3 weeks, we're really going to see a huge, maybe 2 weeks is when you see a really big drop off. As we get into July, you're not getting those cold, you can still through the beginning of June get some cooler air being pulled down and interacting with this warmer air off the Gulf. But everything's pretty warm up here. And things start to get, you start to get less dry and moist air interaction, less cold and warm air interaction the deeper we get into summer. So July, really stuff starts to really slow down. Michigan had a tornado yesterday. Yeah, there was a few tornadoes up here in the Midwest yesterday. How's New York City looking today? I only worry about heavy rainfall. You guys, rainfall wise, we can take a look at that. Rainfall forecast for today, not bad. Maybe you guys get a half inch today. Philly's looking like a little bit more. Down here near DC, Baltimore, you could push up on an inch locally. But again, we're talking about a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. This is mainly a wind-driven risk, but we could get 70, 80 plus mile per hour gusts in and around the New York City region, depending on where these thunderstorms roll through. Or you guys may miss out totally. It's a little bit of more of an isolated squall line setup in the beginning before it consolidates near the coast. There's actually severe weather where I live for once. It's also, yes, it is so hot. It is so hot. I live up in the mid-Atlantic. I live up near Philly, so yeah, it's hot. And we've been lucky. We've been pretty cool all year so far. Will Western Long Island see some severe thunderstorms today? Well, you guys are in this. You guys are right on the edge of this enhanced categorical risk. So you're in a slight to enhanced. So the possibility for strong to severe thunderstorms in Western Long Island is very real today. So I can't promise you you're going to see it, but we do see on pretty much all of our models some strong to severe thunderstorms rolling through there. I don't know what my son's doing. He knows when I stream, so I think he saves all of his energy in screaming for as soon as I get on stream. Yali, what's going on? Marissa, what's going on? Delaware too. The entire state of Delaware is in an enhanced risk today. The entire state of Delaware. So wind driven. Now we do have a tornado risk 2%, and we do have a hail risk 5%. But I would definitely say strong winds is the biggest factor today in Delaware. We're gonna have to keep our weather alerts on though, because tornadoes are possible here. Florida's not looking too bad today. What do you guys in general thunderstorms? It's gonna be an average day down in Florida. Let's look at what's going on the radar. Not much. Some showers in and around West Palm, Broward County, and you've got some showers moving off east towards Ocala, Gainesville. We might get a bit more action in Orlando later on today. Looking up towards the Panhandle, we've got some severe thunderstorms, not severe, but some strong looking thunderstorms moving pretty quickly out to the east, actually. So Tally, Crawford, Perry, all you guys are going to get involved here soon. Apalachicola just had some good thunderstorms move through. Let's get down here. I want to go to... Oh my God, what is this kid doing? By the way, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning right out here. What state am I in? Oh my gosh, I zoomed in too quick. Out here in Mississippi, moving towards Mound Bayou, Giroux, Ruleville, Cleveland, Shelby. Just your average 60 mile per hour gust. Radar indicated 60 mile per hour plus gusts, an inch hail. So, not seeing anything tornadic in here, which is good. A little bit of rotation, but really just looks like straight line winds. What time will the storm start and end? It depends where you are. It's going to be different for everyone. So I'd have to know where you are. Yeah, I have to know where you are. Is Chesapeake, Virginia going to get bad tonight? It could be. I mean, you guys are right on the border of that enhanced as well. So, you know, timing for Chesapeake. Let's go into our convection allowing. Timing for Chesapeake right now looks to be at or around 9 to 10 p.m., give or take an hour out here. So pretty late in the evening. You definitely could have some damaging, severe thunderstorms rolling through there. So make sure you have a way to get weather alerts. When our storms are expected to start coming through Front Royal Winchester VA area. Okay, so north. Yeah, these thunderstorms, you could get an isolated thunderstorm as early as 1, 2, 3, but that main squall line looks to move through your region potentially at around 5 to 6 p.m. Yeah, 5 to 6 p.m. today. But you're going to be watching a severe thunderstorm threat really all the way from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. because there's multiple lines up there for Northern Virginia. No problem, Tater Tot. Delaware. Yeah, Delaware. Look, you don't even need to tell me the city in Delaware. Delaware's the size of a city. So, like, Delaware, your weather starts going downhill potentially as early as 5. And you're seeing the potential for strong severe thunderstorms all the way until about 11. So it's like a full evening event for you guys. That's like when people are like, how's the weather going to be in Coventry, Rhode Island? I'm like, you don't need to say the city in Rhode Island. You just don't need to. I guess Delaware is a tiny bit bigger. Difference between Wilmington and Georgetown, I guess. That's a little bit of a difference, but yeah, not Rhode Island. Southeast Philly, yes. Philly could get some decent thunderstorms today. We could see these rolling in as early as 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock p.m. One round, and then maybe we get a second round right after that at around 8, 9. So fun stuff. How far ahead can you predict? You know, once we push past 72 to 96 hours, forecasts really start to fall apart. So we start to get more accurate forecasts at around 96 hours. We start to get really accurate forecasts at 48 hours. And then once you're within 12 hours, you know, you should know at least all the potentials here. But anything outside of 4 or 5 days is you're kind of getting into la la land on especially local forecasting. Temperatures aren't that hard to forecast over 4 to 5 days. Temperatures are pretty easy to forecast even up to like 10 days out because they are big events, right? A big large high pressure is going to come and sit over the east. We know this is going to be hot. If we got a big trough developing, moving in to the east, it's going to stay cool. We're going to have cooler air pulling down from the north. You can predict that almost 2 weeks out. But when we're talking about local thunderstorms, like thunderstorms down to a local level, there's so many weird variables that go on as these storms develop throughout the day. A 1 degree difference, if you're off by 1 degree, that could completely change whether you have capping or not, whether it's sunny or whether it's downpouring. So it's really tough to predict even outside of 48 hours to predict accurately local thunderstorm conditions. So, why is Philly in red? This is a 30% risk for strong to damaging winds, or strong severe thunderstorms capable of producing damaging winds 70 to 80 plus miles per hour. I'm tongue tied today. So basically a 3 out of 5 risk for damaging winds today. So this is an enhanced. It's a 3 out of 5 categorical risk. So let me go back here. So you go marginal, slight, right? So this is your kind of 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Then you would go moderate and high. Highs are very rare. Moderates are pretty rare as well, but this is a pretty decent severe threat. This is a pretty decent severe threat out here, and enhanced for this whole region isn't too common. So, but it is wind driven. Luckily, it's not tornado driven. There's 2% chance for tornadoes out here, which is, you could consider it a 1 out of 5 risk for tornadoes. Hail, 1 out of 5, and then wind is at a 3 out of 5. So, yeehaw, ride him, cowboy. Yali, thanks for the cowboy hat. And I know I missed that by a mile. I don't think I've even got one in the last 3 weeks. Winter storms coming through Blanche, North Carolina. All right, North Central. Let's see. Let's take a look at what the latest HRRR is telling us. potentially, they're going to be between 5 and 7 p.m. today. It's going to be early evening. It's going to be early evening. Probably around 6. Storms are likely reaching the Jersey Shore. If you're actually talking about out the shoreline in New Jersey, the entire shoreline is going to start seeing their weather go downhill at around probably between 6 and 7 p.m. And then we could be watching the potential for strong and severe thunderstorms all the way in through about 10. So it's going to be 3-4 hours. Absolutely missed it. Hartford, Connecticut, you could see some isolated showers moving through as early as 5-6 p.m. And then that main kind of squall line wants to get there a little bit later. But it looks like your main threat really is going to be earlier in the evening for strong and severe thunderstorms, yeah. 1 second, guys. What the heck? 1 second. Where? What the heck? Wait. 1 second. What the heck happened with my... I'm trying to open my TikTok live studio and it's not working. Hold up. Oh, look at that. Shocker. Technical difficulties. You guys can still hear me, right? That is so weird. TikTok, you still hear me, right? It's frozen on my... Yeah, you can hear me. Can you see me? You can see me too? You can hear me, can't see me? I just went to pull up TikTok Live Studio just to check on something, and it's completely frozen. No, I have no idea why. Give me a second. This is not a my computer thing. This is definitely a TikTok Studio thing because I had this happen the other day as well. What is going on? I think if I close it and reopen it very quickly. Okay, I'll close it and reopen it, and it should allow me to restart it. I'll be right back on that side, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta close and reopen it. I don't know what's going on. Weird. What the heck? Now it's all messed up. What is going on? TikTok, always having problems with TikTok. All right, well, I'm back, but everything's messed up. All my screens are messed up. Let me fix them. Hey, whoa. It just destroyed my entire setup. Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I closed it in 1 second, guys. You guys can hear me and see me now. I closed it and reopened it, and it was like, "Sorry, do you want to continue with your live?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to continue with my live." Like, what was the issue? I don't know. All right, let me just fix the screen so you guys can see everything that's going on here. That's gonna have to do. All right, we should be good. Let me get you guys all set back up over here. 1 second. So annoying. Ay, everyone. Anyways, where was I at? What were we talking about? Yeah, no, I had to not only did it crash, TikTok Live Studio crashed, it changed where all my cameras were and everything like that. So classic stuff. Classic stuff. Patterson, New Jersey. Like I said, New Jersey looks to be 6, 7, 8, 9 for the worst weather moving through tonight. Yeah, Bucks County looks to be 5, 6 p.m. for potentially the strong severe thunderstorms. DC could get started a little bit earlier. We could see some strong severe thunderstorms moving into DC as early as 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then potentially a second round at around 6 or 7 p.m. Okay, Neymar. Yes, I said 6, 7 because 6, 7 p.m. All right. I still don't even know what that means. I'm not up to date with the Gen Z memes. I just don't get it. Where's Webster County, West Virginia? Central? Isolated. You could experience isolated showers really all day, and then that main squall line wants to move through potentially your area at around 5 p.m. On the back end there. So, although you guys aren't in too. You guys are out there in that marginal, I believe, so it's not looking too bad for you guys, but I'd have weather alerts on today. Yeah, you're out there in that marginal, right on the border of the slight. Could experience some, all right, Anthony, you are getting blocked. We're not spamming. We could experience, let me go into, here we go. West Virginia, you guys could get some decent rainfall out there, maybe an inch over a very short period of time. So we'll watch for any potential flash flooding out there as well. Man, that was the quickest block ever. Can you please check Durham, North Carolina? Yeah, Durham, North Carolina. These storms are beginning to move in out there around 6, 7, 8 p.m. tonight. And again, you guys are in that slight risk. This is mainly a wind-driven risk, so 60, 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts associated with some of these strong too. Severe thunderstorms are possible. Maybe you get some storms moving in as early as 7. It looks to be more of an 8, 9 o'clock event for you guys. You guys are on a 2% risk. I believe the whole state of New Jersey is in a 2% tour risk today. So all that means is there's a 2% chance that from within 25 miles from any point in this zone that there could be a tornado today on the ground. No problem, Zad. No problem. No problemo. Philly? Yeah, Philly storms look to move in at around 5, 6 p.m. We could get our strongest thunderstorms. We could get on the back end something at around 8 or 9 as well. But 5 to 6 is probably we're gonna see the highest chance for those. Kind of a damaging wind event. Maybe some small hail, tornadoes possible, but do I think New Jersey's going to underperform? I think most people are. I think today is looking like an underperforming day, but you never know. I mean, if the Rufus is correct, we could get very strong supercells through DC, Baltimore, Philly region. So the Rufus and NAM3K both see that. If those are right, probably an overperformance, or at least what we expect. But the HRRR, which tends to be our best short-range model, doesn't see it. So it's a really hard call if I'm being honest. A lot of times it's safest to put most of your cards in the HRRR model run. But the Rufus has done decently. You know what? I haven't even checked. We'll do this together. I haven't even checked the M-Pass. And the M-Pass is really good. Okay, so let's look at the M-Pass. This model's good. What are we seeing today? This is only going to be 10 hours out. Let's see. Let's go back to the 00Z, I guess. Yeah, the M-Pass shows the same thing. They all want Philly, DC, Baltimore region right here. Kind of DMV region. They all want supercells through there. They're all seeing that development. So pretty interesting. That's kind of where the target is. And then up through central to southern Jersey. Again, though, I mean, we have to watch this entire line. Even up through portions of Maine. We could get some strong to severe thunderstorms up there with that isolated setup. You can see it. You can see the empaths putting some potential supercells up here through Maine too. So it's going all the way up the coast. Yeah, Maryland, like I said, Maryland is one of the kind of main targets today for potential bad strong severe thunderstorms. Yeah, Harrisburg, these storms are going to come through a little bit earlier for you. We could see strong and severe thunderstorms rolling through there 3 to 4 p.m. And then a second round at around 6, 7. You guys are out there in that slight, but you're pretty close to that enhanced risk. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some damaging wind thunderstorms out there today. So have a way to get alerts, or have a way to receive weather alerts. Dirty Pass. Brownie, I appreciate that. No problem, no problem. I gotta get some stuff done today. I gotta remulch a big portion of my backyard out here in the 90-degree heat. I'm gonna be back on covering these storms as they roll through, especially the Mid-Atlantic, this enhanced region today. I'm gonna be back on, so we're gonna be talking about 4, 5, 6 p.m. I'll be back on here covering this stuff, guys. Just to remind everyone, again, Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City. This is our main region where we're watching for strong severe thunderstorms as we move into the late afternoon, early evening to mid-evening hours, capable of producing 70, 80 plus mile per hour gusts. But we've got a large slight all the way from Charlotte up through northern Maine. Our risk zone up here, this is mainly going to be a super late evening into the early hours of tomorrow event. So we could be talking 10, 11 Central into 1, 2, 3 a.m. where we could see some strong to severe thunderstorms out here, capable of producing some large hail as well, with strong winds and maybe a few tornadoes. So I'll be back on 4 or 5 hours, in about 4 hours probably, so that we can cover these storms as they move into the mid-Atlantic and see, who knows, if we see an overperformance or underperformance. But I am really watching that area, central to southern New Jersey, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., central to northern Maryland. That looks like where where I just circled, looks like where the most action is going to be today. Potentially, just based on the models. Okay? Yeah, and is rain getting closer to Atlanta? Yeah, you've got some thunder showers out here. Let's move out. You've got this band of storms out here. I mean, it's gonna rain a little bit. These are just thunder showers, though. All right, I'll be back on a little bit later, guys. I appreciate you, and thank you for the 12 new followers. All right, I'll see you guys back on here in about 4 hours. See you.